Hey everybody, we are back at Knott's for our next Scary Farm update, and we're down here, not that there's anything specifically Halloween to see, but on the backside of the new Waxworks maze. Thought with this video, in addition to looking for some new items, seeing if we can find anything, that would talk a little bit about some of the things that have been announced at the recent Scary Farm announcement event. And so Waxworks being one of them. It was the first thing we saw really being worked on this year, and it was the earliest we've ever documented anything here. We saw that new exterior kind of outside, I don't know if it's an outside kind of exit area or what's kind of connected on the back side over there. But that was all done like in March. We saw a lot of the work done in February and March. You can just tell it was cleaned out and it wasn't going to be trick or treat anymore. And so I'm excited about that one. I love a wax museum maze. I love that as a theme. There's some themes, I think, for all of us as haunt fans that connect better than others. I'm never usually super huge on alien mazes, although I really enjoyed Dark Entities. I really enjoyed what Perdition Home Haunt did with that theme a couple years ago. But I mean, there's some things. And then on the other side, things that are like classic spooky haunted house, you know, I just always love those. And so Wax Museum is one of those things that kind of fits into a category that I really enjoy, so I'm excited about it. I'm very curious to see what Daniel Miller does with it. Part of what I normally like about wax museums is just kind of them having a standard, you know, like a real wax museum where they're kind of open layouts with just normal looking wax spheres that look scary enough on their own. But Daniel's known to really go into kind of the more claustrophobic and the more gory. So I'm interested to see how those kind of combine and see how I like it. But I am excited about Waxworks. It's definitely a theme that works very well for my liking. So with that said, let's make our way to the marketplace, see if we find anything there, and then we will head into the park. We'll talk about Origins. We'll talk about Puppet Up and see if we find anything else. All right, in the bakery, fun little Halloween design cakes. Nothing specifically Scary Farm, but still fun to see them here. All right, just a quick mention if you're coming out to the park and if you don't have a Knott's Pass, they are not selling any of the Scary Farm merch yet outside of the park. So thought that potentially at Virginia's, because it'll eventually show up there. And they've got the windows all decked out and everything, as we've shown in an earlier video, but not yet. So everything's still inside. From what we understand, the Bazaar is still open. Take a quick look at that. But for now, if you're looking for haunt merch, you got to go inside. Alrighty, next up, the spot for Origins. And we're gonna learn all about the curse of Calico, what happened here to turn these good people of Ghost Town Alive. We're here shooting this video on the finale day of Ghost Town Alive and all these friendly folks, and how it all goes so bad in such a good way for haunt fans when the fog rolls in. So this has got to be one of the things I'm most excited about in all the years of announcements for any of the parks anywhere, because it does tie into, I mean, for us, we've been coming to Scary Farm Halloween Haunt for really truly over 20 years. It's been our Halloween tradition long before we ever covered anything. We just knew we really loved coming to this place and checking it out, and so now to have something tie into that history is fantastic. It also is another step in that direction that we've really liked, that they're making, of connecting the mazes to the scare zones to kind of make them like themed lands. So I know we've talked about that, I think, in this video series and the podcast and stuff, but super curious when Shadowlands leave of what they'll do to kind of tie that in over there, presumably with Dark Ride and the Carnival Scare Zone. Really love that. Love with the Hollows and Pumpkin Eater. And now we'll have this maze tied directly into the Ghost Town streets, which is really exciting. So, you know, I hope my hopes aren't up too high for it. I'm really curious to see what I think about it, because I know in general with the stuff we do, there's always so many new rides and new lands and new attractions and shows. And the worst thing you can do is get super hyped about anything, because it's really difficult to live up to that. But I'm super hyped about this one. So we will see. We'll definitely be talking about it on the 19th when we check it out. And there it is for the good citizens of Calico. The 2019 stage for the hanging coming together. Got a little bit of color going in over there off to the left. Still structure building there. The staircases, the gallows coming together and all that. So they've said that this is going to tie into Origins and the Scare Zone, which again, that is exciting to us. I know Carmel and I have talked a lot about all this stuff going on here, and both of us are big fans of just kind of tying together the themes and making it all fit into a single storyline. So curious to see how this part ends up being incorporated with obviously a very different type of humor from what we would assume is going to be going on inside Origins. Okay, last part of the announcement event we're going to discuss here, and we'll see if we still find any other Halloween stuff. But in terms of announcements, is Puppet Up coming to the Charles M. Schultz Theater. It is the team up of Knott's with the Henson Company. And so we're super curious about it. It's funny, we were talking to some friends at the Midsummer Scream White Bat Party last night about it. And I think our feelings are very similar of just have wanted to do it, would like to check it out, haven't gotten around to it, haven't paid the ticket price to go do it separate. And so having it here, really excited to be able to see it as part of just the regular admission price. I do like changing gears, and so I think humor for me works in haunt settings, kind of disarm people and lighten things up, and then you come back out and it just makes the scares that much better. So I'm curious to see it. You know, we'll see how well it hits for people. I feel like about 75% of the people I see out there in social media are excited about it for similar reasons. They want to just check it out, see what it is and how it works in the event. And then I think there's about 25% that have the opinion, which I totally get, of just I don't see how it connects with haunt. And that's a very, I think, fair place to come from. But I think with everything, we're always of the mindset of like, let's check it out first and see how it does connect to haunt. And so for people coming later in the run, they can kind of read the reviews or listen to what's out there on social media, see what people have to say about it. But I know I am excited to check it out. It's one of those things that just never really saw it coming, you know, to see the Henson Company doing a puppet show during Scary Farm. Anytime something comes totally out of left field and isn't predictable, I'm interested. So very curious to see how it does fit into the season, how people feel about it, and then that will tell us a little bit more maybe of what might become of it in the future. All right, we just saw the finale of Ghost Town Alive, which they did a great job, but that's a whole different topic. But that signifies the end officially of the summer season, and officially here on the Ghost Town streets, the next event coming here is not Scary Farm. And we are just, 17 days out from the recording of this for it to hit. And so I think we're gonna wrap up the video here. Unfortunately, we did not find much else in terms of, you know, pumpkins or skeletons or maze building work or any of that stuff. So this video might be the most boring of the season so far, which apologies for that. Basically just ended up being some talk and talk about the announcements and then some whatever, the cake and the stage and stuff. So thank you for tuning in. I promise the future videos will have a lot more to see. If you followed along with us in the past, you know that that is definitely the case. There's a lot to come. So we'll wrap up here. Until next time, we'll see you online somewhere.